Welcome to the Brown Girls Do Network Live Series podcast. Today, we will be talking with Lafayette Williamson, the CEO of Esquire Productions. Starting in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area, known as the DMV, our focus today will be on the journey and how do you build an entertainment brand. Driven by excellence, Lafayette expanded Esquire Productions' footprint to markets such as Miami, Dallas, New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Known for his commitment to client satisfaction, Esquire Production is celebrated for orchestrating top-notch events, shows, festivals, and parties that leave a lasting impression. Esquire Production has had the privilege of collaborating with a plethora of up-and-coming local artists who commands and demands the stage, along with national artists such as Big Daddy Kane, Dougie Fresh, Mr. Cheeks, Chubb Rock, and many more acclaimed performers. This stellar lineup of collaboration speaks to Lafayette's dedication to curating unforgettable experiences for audiences far and wide. Beyond his entertainment achievements, Lafayette's professional achievements encompass 22 years of service, retired U.S. Army, and dedication to his family lineage. Lafayette is the visionary of the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival, celebrating its third year on August 31st. Let's get into this conversation and learn the details of his journey. I am Vanessa Williamson, the host of the Brown Girls Do Network Live Series. And you may be wondering, hold on, he is not a brown girl, and you are correct. Brown Girls Live Series is here to shine a light on positive businesses and share the journey of the everyday entrepreneur, and hopefully assisting and encouraging our listeners with valuable insight. Please like, share, and comment. Thank you for joining us. Hello, party people. We are back again for one of our live series podcasts. Let's make no mistake. I know y'all listened to that introduction, and you know I'm shining bright about that introduction. Some of y'all know, but some of y'all don't know, and we'll just save that to the end. Anyway, I am Vanessa Williamson, the host of the Brown Girls Do Network Live Series podcast. Brown Girls Do Network, we are a network of brown and black women pushing each other in business, encouraging, motivating, and just growing up in business together. Now, as I said, I know you're like, wait a minute now, that's not a brown girl, that's a gentleman. Yes, it is. However, what it is that we are a network, and we network with all people. But here's the thing, behind every brown girl, there is a brown man. So we are looking at the men behind Brown Girls Do Network. And this is where we come up with Mr. Lafayette Williamson. Yes, that is my husband. Okay, he's my husband. But I am the host today of Brown Girls Do Network, and I am not in the role of his, well, yes, I am. I'm in the role of his wife. Let's not play about that. Anyway, let's bring on Mr. Lafayette Williamson. How you doing, sir?
Hey, how you doing? It's good to be here.
How did you like the intro?
Oh, it was dynamic. It really was. I wasn't expecting that, but it was good.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I do the intro, as I always say, I request a headshot and a bio of every guest. He is no different. So when he sent me his bio, I always reconstruct and remix the bio so the guests never know what they're going to hear. They just know that they sent the bio, but they don't know exactly how it's going to be presented or how they will be presented. And I'm always curious to see, like, well, how do you guys feel? How do you feel hearing your accolades? How did that make you feel?
Oh, that made me feel wonderful. You touched on a lot of things in my life, so it was different, but it was great. That's one thing I can say. Yes.
Okay, because you are a great man.
I appreciate that.
Let's start with the question that I ask every guest. How was your day, and what have you done today to make the world a better place?
My day was real good. When I wake up in the morning, I thank God, for another day. I just had a birthday yesterday, and he gave me another day. So when I do that, everything else is good, and I pray for others, and I go out and try to be the best that I can be in helping and encouraging other people as well.
Nice. Okay, so the day was a good day. I have Instagram in front of me. I don't know if you can see Instagram. Melinda. She said, "Hey Unc, hey Auntie, hey Melinda." How y'all doing out there? And you're getting happy birthday messages from the
Oh,
Hispanic
look at that.
Heritage
Oh man.
Festival. I
Thank
mean,
you,
and
babe.
they are saying happy birthday to you. Let's get
Yes,
into
thank
our
you.
conversation. Okay. Um, I touched on 22 years in the Army.
Yes.
22 years in the Army. Let's talk about that a little bit because before we get into the brand or the individual,
Hmm.
your business, I like to talk about the person behind the brand. Can you
Absolutely.
share with us a little bit of matter of fact, how old was you when you went into the Army?
I think I was in my, at 22 years, my math ain't great, but if you look back, I was in my 20s, I want to say. And growing up in Washington D.C., which we call the DMV, it's rough territory, and I in my life, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, going in the Army. So um, didn't know I was going to do 22 years, but I said, if anything that God got me from before I went in the Army, it's worth trying to stay 22 years, So that's what happened, and I pretty much was voluntold. But
Voluntold. Okay.
yes, voluntold, because uh, young black men, from the urban city, uh, don't fare long, and either you're gonna get in trouble or you're not. So that was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I'm gonna leave it right
Well, I'm not.
there. All
I'm
right,
not
bring
gonna
it
leave it.
on.
I'm not gonna leave right there. And who is this? Elaine and Mark said happy birthday, much love to you. They're
Thank you.
sending love from Columbus, Ohio. Growing up in the DMV, you was voluntold
Yes,
to join the Army.
yes.
Um, do you regret it? Do you what is there was there moments where you was like, you know what? This ain't gonna work for me.
Yeah, that definitely. It was moments in my military career, that I was like, man, I'm not here, to have people tell me what to do. Tell me when to wake up, go to bed, dress right, dress this, that, and the other. Where I come from, I did what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
When I went into the military, all that changed,
All of
but
it, yeah.
everything changed. But what it did do is give me structure. It built structure in my life and showed me where I needed to be and what I needed to change in me to have that solid foundation. So God knew what He was doing. When He sent me to the military because it paid off. I'm telling you.
Okay. How old was your because you have sons?
Yes.
How old was your sons when you went into the military?
Oh, they was young. They was. Oh my goodness. I want to say 3, 4, and 8. I want to say. Yeah.
3, 4, and 8.
Yeah.
How, if you can remember, how did that impact them when you went into the military? And I mean, because we all know you have to go to basic training,
Hmm.
right? But
Yeah.
how did that affect you and family life, right? Being away from your boys,
Right. Right. It
going
it
into the military.
it was good and bad, because they missed me. And I was, as my years in the military grew, I was away from them even more. Um, so, and we've had conversations about that, good conversations, bad conversations, but um, on all up and the up, they look at me now, you know, I'm in their life now.
Hmm.
But it wasn't easy. The road was rocky. Um, they didn't like certain things, and I'm like, hey, it's okay. It's gonna be all right. Look at Dad now. Dad got you now. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was
Okay.
rough. It was rough at times.
It was rough. What would you say was the biggest struggle when you was in the Army? Because when you say it was rough at times, it was rough
Yeah,
leaving them, you're leaving home. When we think about, 22 years is a long time. 22
right.
years, you go through a lot,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gain people, you lose people. What would you say was the roughest time for you over your journey?
Well, I'm a family man, and missing my family, was real rough. During my journey, my bags always stayed packed. I was here, I was there, East Coast, West Coast, in another country, you name it. It really was rough, and there was times, in my life, in the military, especially, abroad, that uh, you miss family. Especially my boys, my kids. I miss family. So
Okay.
and sometimes you feel lonely, at times.
Hmm. Missing family, missing your boys. How many duty stations do you think you moved to? How many duty stations you think you was at?
I can't even
Over
count.
20 years, because over
Yeah,
22 years,
it,
some have even closed.
yeah. It was so many. I can't even count. Lord knows, to try to remember the stations where I was at.
Hmm.
So Germany was one of them, which I really had a good time. Um, but it was so many. I
It
can't
was so
even.
many.
Yeah,
What?
I'm telling you.
Okay. What did you do? What did you do in the Army?
Well, when I first came um, in 1995, 96, um, I came in as a combat engineer, which, that was one of the things that, excited me because the only one reason why I took that MOS, which is your job, it was because you get a chance to play around with C4 and you blow shit up, excuse the
Oh my
expression,
God.
So that was, that was one of the ones, then I got tired of that, and I went to transportation, which is the 88 Mike. Um, did that, loved it, loved it. Yeah, I just loved it. My unit was 547 Transportation Company, and it was just a wonderful unit, and it was a black unit at that. So real good. We did special things. Iraq, Afghanistan. We had a wonderful time.
A wonderful time during employment. How many deployments?
I had two.
Two deployments,
Yep.
Iraq,
In
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan. Yep.
What was the hardest what was the hardest thing you had to go through being in uniform from your perspective?
You want to be honest with me?
Please
Well,
be
I'm going to be
honest.
honest with you.
Be honest with
Yeah.
them.
We got racism everywhere,
Mhm.
and um, being in uniform, it doesn't change, whether you out on the street, um, you get bad commands, good commands, um, but you drive on. I always said in my mind, this too shall pass. And I was always a person who studied people, when I was in the military and now. And the people, that didn't like me, yeah, I made sure, that I did what I had to do to be around them.
To be around them?
Veer
Oh, veer
around them.
around them.
You
Okay.
know, yes, the old saying, you kept it close, but you
Hmm.
know how to veer around them.
So what was the hardest thing you've been through?
Oh man, in the military,
Yes.
the one thing like I said, being away from family. But let me back up. The hardest thing in the one of the military, one of the hardest things that I went through was me dealing with racism, dealing with a bad command. And it's almost, got to the point to me where I was getting ready to just say, you know what, I'm done with this. You know, it's time to move on to something else. But
Mm.
God had a better plan.
So racism was the hardest thing you had to go through in the military?
Yeah, yeah. When I went in the military, I mean, exercise and getting up at 6 in the morning, this, that, and the other. I went in shape, so
Mm-hmm.
uh, that wasn't a problem with me. I
Okay.
mean, um, I was one of them. I always questioned why we got to do this. They'd be like, Williamson, what is wrong with you? So so what they did was they made me platoon leader, squad leader, this, that, never, just to get rid of me, keep me focused.
Mm.
But yes,
You got a comment on on Instagram, says there was no Remy in the barracks.
you are absolutely right. But,
But
but,
okay. So you're saying, I'm asking you about your time in the military and what's the hardest
right.
thing you've been through. And
Hmm.
you've touched on racism. Racism is definitely well and alive, right?
Yeah,
In some places more than others.
yeah.
Some people think racism is not real.
Hmm.
Some of us know racism is very real and it's up in our face. You're talking about it in the military. And yes, there is racism in the military.
Hmm.
Um, there's even sexism in the military.
Absolutely.
You're saying that that's the hardest thing that you've been through. I know you better than that. Okay. I know you, sir. All right. So,
Okay.
um, and I'm gonna go here. Okay.
Oh yeah.
When you say racism was the hardest thing, I believe racism was hard for you in the
Hmm.
military, but I think, um, respectfully, right? The loss of your son was the hardest thing you went through
Oh, oh my God.
in the
Ah,
military.
oh my God.
So,
Yeah, yeah. Mm, thank you. You know, um,
yeah.
yeah. I was. Oh man. That definitely was the utmost hardest thing, for me, to lose
Breathe.
my baby son,
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Charles. I have his tattoo right on my arm right here. Um, and thank you, for reminding me uh, of that, because it ain't all about me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And that was one of the roughest times for me in my life. Um, and I'm still today still
Mm-hmm.
dealing with that. It comes and goes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rough. It was rough. Therapy, had to go to therapy, to talk about it, everything. It really was a a dark moment in my life,
Mm-hmm.
I should say. So you're absolutely right.
Right. So when we talk about 22 years in being in uniform, lots of happiness, lots of ups, lots of
Hmm.
downs, right? Lots of
Absolutely.
gains, lots of losses,
Yeah.
over 22 years in uniform or not.
Right.
So when we talk about transition, right, from family, as you say, you still go through that. You still have memories or what have you. You still have, like you said, you have three sons.
Yeah.
However, you're quick to say you have five. I say I have four. One, rest in peace, right?
Hmm.
Um, the one thing also about the military, with your transition, you gained additional family at the end, almost
Absolutely.
at the end of your career, right?
Absolutely.
You picked up
Absolutely. Which was a blessing, I'm telling you. Yes. Yes.
at the
Yes.
end of your career. And if you know anything about Lafayette, you know certain things are going to be just consistent in his life, when it's related to family, his family reunions, right? In which it transitioned us a little bit to what we're talking about today with how did you get into event planning? Because Lafayette is the premier event planner for his family, right? For the family reunions that will happen every single year. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how did you get introduced to event planning, or would you even say, was it event planning in the beginning? I don't even think it was called that. I think you was throwing parties.
Absolutely. I mean, it started in high school. And shout out to my Eastern Ramblers. I started doing lawn parties. And when I say I started doing lawn parties, it wasn't just, a couple people. It was a lawn party where, you got 200-300 people on my lawn. And I used to tell my first one I did, I'm living with my grandparents, and I told my grandfather, I said, hey, I'm just going to invite a few friends over and, have a party. So he was like, okay, go ahead. So it turned out to be like about 150 people came over, So everybody knows, my next one I threw, it was my birthday.
Wait, what did
Go
your
ahead.
grandfather say when
Oh,
you
he
said
lost
it's
his
just a
everlasting
couple
mind.
people? What did he say?
Yeah, it gets better, but he lost his mind. He was like, okay. And I don't know if I can say this, but he said, okay, motherfucker, you got me this time. So the next time, Go-Go was up and rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody knows that, when my birthday come around, I this has to be big. I mean, it really do. So I was throwing out flyers. This is when I got into the flyer. I had a computerized, like Word document, and was handing flyers out all over the city.
For a lawn
When I
party,
did
another lawn
for a
party
lawn party,
at your
for a lawn
grandparents'
party
house?
at my grandparents' house. When I say it was every bit of 500-600 people at this lawn party. My sister Robin, she was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you." You know. So, I mean, we had the DJ up in the room. He was down looking over top everything, the backyard. I mean, when I say it was packed out, it was packed out. So over the years, I started throwing, and I said, you know what, I can turn this into a business.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So the next morning, you know how I am about my yard, green grass, everything. There was no grass the next
From
morning.
that lawn party?
From the party, it was no grass. Everything was packed down out of his mind. And I had to water that grass, man, for 2 whole weeks.
What
I
did
mean,
your oh, what did your grandfather say?
oh man, I was getting cussed out every day, every single day. He cried. He cried, man, because his lawn was gone. I mean, I mean, it was just unbelievable. People was all over the place, cars all over the place, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh man, it was just, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it myself, but I was well known.
Yeah, okay, but was you allowed to throw a party? Was you even allowed back to the house?
I was allowed back to the house, but I think that was the last time that I threw a party there.
Yeah, you ain't throwing no more
Yeah,
parties there. So where did you
absolutely.
go after that? All right, and you said this was right after high school, so this was
Well,
before
it
the
was, it was,
military.
yeah, it was before the military. So
Mm-hmm.
I took a break, and of course, the streets, was the streets, and I said, you know what, it's time to do something different. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I went into the military.
Okay. While you was in the military, you just stopped doing the parties? What did you do?
Oh no, not at all. We was always throwing something, whether or not it was in our rooms, or at a hall, whether it was a cookout. I mean, it every time, holidays, everything, we was good to go.
Mm, 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 mm. Okay, so let's transition. You
Hmm.
get out of the military because when I met you and your nephew, your nephew Brian, calling you hot pants.
Oh, that's a well-known name. Everybody who know me back in the day, they know I got that from Calvin Woodland, one of my football coaches, and that name is like through the roof.
Oh my goodness. So you get out of the military. Now you're back home. When I
Hmm.
met Lafayette, you was throwing it was well, when I met you, you and TJ was
Yes.
throwing events
Yeah.
every
That is brand.
Friday, I think it was, or every
Yeah.
Saturday. So
Yeah.
before we
It
even
was
get
every
into
Friday.
that,
Yeah.
bef-
Okay.
how did you even lead up to that? Take us through your journey, because there's someone out here listening wondering, how do I get into, throwing events? How do I get this brand, right? Because Esquire
Mhm.
Production, you have never wavered with that brand. That's your
Right.
name.
Right.
Someone is wondering, like, how do I get to that level and surpass the level that you're at? So take us through your journey of throwing your events. You took us through the lawn parties. You survived that
Mhm.
with your
Yeah.
with your grandfather. How did you transition from, because you was in uniform and you guys was doing this? I don't know if TJ was
Yeah.
in the army,
Yes.
but you was
Yes,
in the
he was.
army when y'all was doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is this possible? Because in the
Hmm.
army is so many checks and balances, and are you here, are you there, what you doing, and blah blah blah. How did this even happen? Give us the details.
Well, let me back up, where I got the name Esquire. I've always, Esquire was a name. I was working at a law firm, and I said, man, Esquire sounds so distinguished. And I love the name, and I just went on and got it. I said, look, this is gonna be Lafayette Esquire. I was even telling people, my name was Esquire. You know,
What?
this was
They
this
didn't
was
know
the
you. Okay.
they didn't know me, right?
Okay.
So as time went on, I've always loved that brand name, and I took that name on. And when I got it patented, me and TJ, which we started out together, and then we branched off. TJ went to Chariot Entertainment, but during that time, both of us was on the tail end of our military careers, and we was moving on into something else, trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did that, we came together. I remember our first party that we threw. Um, it was good. It was, but I'm gonna say it was successful, but financially it wasn't successful.
Okay.
You
And
know.
why do you say that? What does that mean?
Well, when you first start, anybody that knows events, parties, shows, you're taking a chance every time. So until you build your brand, um, to bring it up, your overhead might have been a little too much. Um, calculating your money, making sure that everything is in order. Um, it could be a number of things.
So talk to us as if we don't know, because I'm not a I'm not a
Hmm.
party planner, right?
Yeah.
Um, when you say your overhead, or the it was a good time for the people who enjoyed the
Right.
party, but for
Right.
the people who threw the party, you and TJ,
Mhm.
it wasn't such a good
Oh,
ending at the
absolutely.
end of the night.
When you're new to the game, and I say new to the game, to the promoter game, um, you have to build. You have to build your brand. You have to get out there. You have to get to the people. You have to flyers. You got to do street team. It's a lot of work. And when people don't know you yet, and they're seeing you, giving these events, even though they knew my name, but they don't know Esquire.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to build everything up and get out into the public, to build your brand up.
Mm-hmm. So you guys get out there, you build the brand, but that first
Hmm.
party, you said you guys took a loss.
Hmm. Oh,
How go ahead.
I'm sorry, we did a many of parties that we either broke even, or we
Mm-hmm.
took a loss. But that's the chances that you have to take, um, if you want to be in this business, to build your brand. Um, and you gotta spend money to make money. Um,
And
and
scared money
along the
don't make
way,
no money.
don't make none. You know,
Scared money
I
don't make
remember,
money.
I remember, um, and this was coming from TJ, which that's my man. Um, he said, because this person is doing the event on that day and that person doing the event on that day, that don't mean ain't nobody coming to ours.
Mm-hmm.
So, don't be scared. Let's go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we were at with it, until we got where we wanted to be at.
And where was that? Where is it that you guys wanted to be, and how long did it take you to get there?
Oh man, it took us probably about a good 5 years.
Okay.
5 years,
All right.
to get where we
So
wanted to be at.
that's good to know. All right. So that's telling people, listen, when you get into the business, any business, it's
Hmm.
going to take some time to grow the business. You have to put your
Absolutely.
name out there. People have to know who you are. They have to trust you that you're
Yep.
going to actually deliver on what it is that you're saying you're going to deliver on, and it's going to be a touch and go. Right.
Yes.
So it took
Absolutely.
5 years for you all to get where you wanted to be. What is the where you wanted to be? Is the where you wanted to be? Okay, you know what? We just want to break even. We just want to make some money. $100. We could split the 150, you 50 me. What is the where you wanted to be? What does that look
Well, we
like?
never we never was satisfied with just breaking even.
Mm-hmm.
Even though breaking even, it's a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
because you either don't have to come out your pocket or you got your money back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, but where you want to be is you want to see a profit. Even if it was, I'm gonna put it like this, even if it was 200, 300, $400 profit, okay, that's positivity.
Mm-hmm.
There's hope, things like that. So, and then, in this business, you have to collaborate. You have to
Yes.
collaborate with others. You go out, you support, other people events. They come and support your event. There's people, that want to say, damn, Esquire getting it in. They let me go check him out. Let me
Mm-hmm.
check that. Let me check them out. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it grows from there.
Right, right. So we have a comment, and C. Floyd is like facts. We have a comment on here. Abby said, right. She said, I had an event last Saturday, same day as Cherry Blossom. I was like, dang, but followed through anyway, and it went well. Yeah. So you can have an event on the same day. You do want to kind of know what's happening out there. You want to still keep your ear to the street to know
Right,
what's happening out there. So maybe you're not duplicating events, but they may be similar, but not exactly the same.
right.
So when I when I chuckle because when I came to Maryland and you guys had that party, the every Friday party or whatever,
That was
and
Nice. I mean, oh man, what was the name of that place? I forgot the name of it.
well,
Yeah.
all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in New Jersey. New Jersey, we had house music, we had hip hop, R&B. One thing we did not have was go-go. I didn't know nothing about any go-go until I met this guy over here. Okay. I come into this event and it's people everywhere. Everywhere. The band was rocking. I was like, what is happening to my soul? Oh my gosh. And it just took over everything to a
Yeah.
point where I was like, I want a do-over of my teenage life
Yeah.
because we ain't have this in Jersey.
Yeah.
So one thing about your events, and another thing, we have DJ parties, okay, here in the East Coast. You guys do live entertainment, live bands,
All the
right?
time.
The DJ is the intermission guy. So
Pretty
y'all,
much.
the band is
Pretty
what's
much.
happening. And I was so impressed with that, and it was just so like different for me. When you guys was doing that, all right, tell us about your partnership with TJ because I believe he plays a huge role in this story. Not only TJ, a couple other people,
Oh,
right, play
absolutely.
a huge
Absolutely.
role in this journey of Esquire Production.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The the one thing when me and TJ came together with Esquire, um, TJ, he had ideas, I had ideas, and we put them together. Sometimes, we wasn't cool with my idea, wasn't cool with his idea, but we came together, as brothers. And knowing him, the first of all, knowing him before we got into the business of promoting, doing parties, um, brother got a true heart, you know, and he's about business, and we learn from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So um, once we came together, we met a slew band of brothers that right now today we are, we're still in connection, and if you don't mind, I can roll their names off,
Absolutely.
TJ, from Chariot Entertainment, uh, Dan Alexander from Nehemiah Production, um, Butchie Farrell, distinguished gentleman, was this distinguished entertainment, James JWC Entertainment, um, C Floyd, he came on, Jannard, we got strong minds, um, Wayne. I can go on and on for the brothers that we've came together and did events with, but especially successful events. And you know the ones that we've had.
What I know, but they don't know. What is the
Yeah,
most successful event you've had?
I'm gonna say we had two. We had two successful events. It was a couple of years ago. We had Big Daddy Kane, Mr. Chiefs, a Junkyard Band, and then we had another. What was it? A masquerade affair that we did, all black masquerade affair. It was 3,000 plus people where we was turning people away at the hotels in the DMV. So, and we're still coming together doing great things. There's
Okay.
a multitude of events.
How do you get someone to buy into your brand, right? How do you get someone to say, you know what, Esquire Production, that sounds about right.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's go check them out. How do you get people to buy into it, and how do you remain consistent without
Mhm.
saying, you know what, I'm done with this?
Right. One of the things is that we love people. We love to um, keep people happy, and we listen. We listen to our customers. We listen to the word on the street. We always looking for a way to better ourselves and to give the public um, what they need. So one thing about us is that we're honest with anything that we do. And I'll give you an example. It was a young lady last year, the second anniversary, second annual Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival. And she came in, she was like, hey, I thought I was supposed to get a cooler and a tent. So everybody else, got the picture. They got the assignment, they got the memo. And, I spoke with her and I said, ma'am, look around. I said, everybody else, got the assignment. So she said, what I said to her, I said, you know what? Next year, third annual Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival, I'm gonna give you 2 tickets for you to just come in. You know, being that you wasn't a little unhappy, even though it wasn't our fault, but we still, we aim to please.
Okay, so you're talking about customer service now.
Yes.
Um, that's a success story, but every story is not always successful.
No,
Every customer is not always happy. Every customer is not
absolutely.
always looking for you to give them something a year
Yeah,
down the road, right?
right.
Um, how do you deal with those difficult customers? Because I don't care what business you're in, you will, and it's
Hmm.
good for you to run across one of those customers who you just can't make happy. One of those customers who they're difficult because that's just who they are as a person. And it makes you a better business person
Yes,
when you get to experience those
right,
people, if
right.
depending on how you choose to handle it. Because sometimes those people if they sometimes they can kind of break or shift your business
Right.
also because they're professionals at being difficult. How have you managed to handle those difficult people?
I'm gonna tell you, the only way you can do that is that if you do everything that you possibly can to make these people happy, and to address their
Within
needs
reason.
with definitely within reason, and address their needs once you've done everything possibly that you can, only thing you can do is move on. You can't stay there and stay stuck,
But what
so.
if they're there? Like, because tell us about when you've had because you've had some difficult people. Okay,
Mhm.
I've heard the conversations where I'm like, what? And like, you're just not going to make that person happy at all. How do you
Right.
normally manage it? Because giving people free tickets to the next event is not the answer all the time.
Well, that's what I said. Sometimes you just got to move on. You can't make everybody happy.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I say again, once you've done everything you possibly can do, you just have to move on. That's the only thing I can say.
So you just leave them there. They just, but what if they ain't moved on?
I mean, that's on them. I mean, the reason why I say that, is because you have those people that is nothing that you can do and say that's going to help
Mm-hmm.
them, satisfy them, XYZ. I always look at it, how you do, you look at reviews, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you're a review person, I'm a review person. And if I see in the reviews, you know, 78, 79, 80% is good, and you got 2, 3, 4%, that's, mediocre. And you got that one person that's like giving you a 1 star. Where you gonna go? Hey, I'm going with the 80%, they valid. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, yeah. We have another comment. A beauty says, so you guys still have vendor booths. My daughter's lemonade stand would love to join. Okay, so she done took us all the way to the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival. We ain't even got there yet. And she's
Yes,
like, hey, I got a question. Okay.
yeah,
Y'all not moving fast enough for me. This is what
right.
I need to know. So, lady, so how about you do this? Instead of me doing it, how about you tell us the journey of the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival? Because I did explain, or I did mention, and I don't know if anybody caught it, that you are the visionary of the
Mhm.
Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival.
I am the visionary of it, but I had help, you know, and you spoke early, behind brown girls there's a brown man,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been fortunate and blessed, to have a wonderful wife, that always have my back. And when I first moved up here, to the Hudson Valley area in New York, I'm looking around, I'm trying to find venues, places. It took me a couple of years to really find my way. Then COVID hit, but well, we got up off the ground. I mean, we were rolling. Esquire was rolling, and then
What was
COVID
Esquire
hit.
doing? What was Esquire doing?
Um, well, we had there was this place we were doing small events, and then we moved up to this place called the Mansion, which
In
we gave
Peekskill. Mm-hmm.
in Peekskill, yes. And we gave New Year's parties. We had all white parties. And what we did do was we gave opportunities of bringing bands from DC up here and introduced them to DC Go Go, and they fell in love with it. I mean, when I say they fell in love with it, they fell in love with it. And I want to go back to we always like to find up and coming artists. Yeah. So we had a young lady named what's her name? We brought her down to DC. And I'm sorry,
Naisha
uh,
Chanel? No.
no,
Beatrice
Stackhouse.
daughter? Oh,
Yes.
Soleil.
So Leia, yes.
Soleil,
So
yes.
Leia, we
Beatrice
brought
daughter.
her down to DC. And so Leia, forgive me, but we brought her down to DC and had her open for one of our bands down in DC, and she killed it, without a doubt. Fast forward. the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival, I kept going past this park, and I kept saying, "Man, I wonder what it costs, to get this park." I mean, numerous of times, and I guess my wife was tired of me saying that, to reach out, and she just one day just gave me a piece of paper, and it had the phone number to the city. I called that phone number, and the rest is history with creating the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival.
Well, I'm not going to allow you to just skate over that and the rest is history. Okay. No. All right. Because the people don't know the history.
Right. Right.
You called, and what was the process? Because somebody else may want to use that park.
Absolutely.
Okay. And they don't know that at the People's Park, there's a process and it is available. What is the process? Mm-hmm. What happened after you got the number from your wonderful, supportive wife? What happened?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you got to go to the city, get, pay for the permit for the park. From that point on, you have to go to the
what's the process of the permit? Like, would you just say you just pay for a permit?
You have to fill out paperwork. You have to, which is good, that you said that before you do anything, even though you want to get that park, you go and get you, event insurance. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you got to have event insurance, before you even process that paperwork, because that has to go with the paperwork to get that park.
Where do you get the paperwork from?
Newburgh City Hall, I want to say.
Okay.
The City of Newburgh building. I'm not sure the address, but it's on Broadway. Then you also have to go get a permit as well for if you're doing stages, pop-ups, anything bigger than a 10 by 10 tent, you have to get permits for that, get approval, I should say. And on the paperwork, everybody from the police department, the trash department, the city officials, to you name it, they have to sign off on that. And until you get all those signatures of approval, it goes up to the city manager, and the city manager, once he sees everybody, and then also backing up, if there's anything that they want you to do, like trash companies say, okay, we approval upon making sure the park is clean, things like that. And then the city manager signs off on it, you get approved, and then you can move forward from that point on. Now you can go into your planning stage. You can do pre-planning stages, but there's nothing too much more that you can do, promotion, everything, until you have that piece of paper.
The approval, the signatures. Yes. So we're going to back up. Someone wants to know about event insurance, right? Because you're talking to an audience who don't do what you do. You're the subject matter expert. So this is why I'm like, well, wait a minute. What about this? So someone a beauty has a question. What is event insurance? She's like, tell us more about event insurance. What is that?
Event insurance is insurance that's covering you with your event. And the thing is that you can't have nothing less than $3 million policy.
What does it cover?
It covers anything from being hurt, if something happened, you're covered for everything, even those small cuts or whatever. If it's minor, that's fine, but if it's something great, stage might fall, or you're covered.
Okay, so event insurance, basically it's to cover you, the entity. When should you get it over a certain amount of people? Oh, okay, that's a good question. She said, when should you get it? Well, you have to get it if you're having an event on city property. So you have to get it.
Right. Right.
And it is good to have it if you're having an event anywhere. Just in case someone slip and fall or what have you, they're not coming towards you personally, or for your
Right.
business, you have the insurance to cover you. Over a certain amount of people, I'm sure it is a criteria. If you have over a certain amount of people, you want to have event insurance.
If it's over like 300 people, you definitely when we did our
Over
hotel parties,
300,
3,000, with
it wouldn't be
3,000 plus.
less. Uh-huh.
um it, it's the nature of the event.
Okay.
you know it it,
Hmm.
it, it it's if you got stage lights, all that. It's always the nature of it. When we did the hotel parties, um it was if it was if it was 1,000 people, we still had to get event insurance. We
Hmm.
had over 3,000 up in there.
Hmm.
So and your insurance had to be 3,000 plus dollars,
Hmm.
3 million. I'm sorry, three
Hmm.
million dollars plus policy.
Oh, okay. So she's
Yes.
asking, yes, that I'm sure, but for instance, your next event next week, are you getting insurance, or will it be covered under the business, or where you're hosting it at? What
It'll
company
be
do you
covered under the
recommend?
business. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be covered under the business. It's a small entity.
Mhm.
That business is small. It probably, I think it holds like about 100 people.
Right.
So
So,
you would need it would be under the business insurance.
okay. So we'll
And
be under
what I
that
do with
business.
right, and what I
Okay.
do is under any businesses or anything I do contracts.
Hmm.
It's important, to do contracts that helps you out, and everybody is on the same page. So when it doesn't be on the same page, you can say, "Hey, there's this contract, that we signed, and this is what we agreed to."
Okay. So she's saying she would like to know, what company do you recommend for event insurance? I can definitely get that over to you, Abby, with no problem. Or do you know the
Yeah.
company off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, but of course it's the same one, that I sent, to you, so you can get it to her. But
Okay.
you can Google it as well. Event insurance, and even the
No,
event.
sir. No,
Wait
we
a
want
minute.
to use the people you use.
Okay,
we don't want to
that's
we
true.
don't
But
want to
yeah,
do the Google. We
right.
right? This is about branding. How do you keep
Now,
the
this is
brand?
what you get. What you're going to do too is that when you're looking for event insurance, they're going to ask you how many people you think is going to be there, and your price is going to be um, subject of how many people there, what you're having there. Um,
Hmm.
if it's going to be live entertainment, lights, you name it. It
Hmm.
even if it's alcohol going to be there, you're covered.
Okay. All right. So when we're talking about how to build a brand, right, an entertainment
Hmm.
brand, you having the event insurance people, this is
Hmm.
your brand. So we want to definitely use the people you use, because
Absolutely.
it's like, listen, if you use them and you keep using them, we're going to use them
Yeah.
too. We're not
Absolutely.
going to do those other
Absolutely.
guys on Google.
Absolutely. Yes.
So now let's move into the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival. So first and foremost, I'm sure you guys already have picked up that Lafayette is not from Hudson Valley at all. However, you was doing events, COVID happened, and if I don't know if anyone that's listening who has attended one of the events prior to COVID. If
Mhm.
you did, oh my God, you had a really good time. I know I had a really good time. And you was really starting to pick up steam up here
Yes.
in the Hudson Valley area. And Esquire Production was really starting to be consistent, and the name was starting to really have weight, saying, okay, these are some good events. We're definitely going to go and show support. And then
Right.
COVID happened.
Right.
COVID happened, and it shut us all down, and we all had to go in the house. Now we're all back out of the house.
Mhm.
And you are the visionary of the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival, the brand of Esquire Production. That's everybody was hearing Esquire Production for the first year. Then the second year, you had partners, right? And
Right.
it wasn't only an Esquire Production event; it was a V&B event.
Right.
I really didn't put mines out there too much, because I was like, I'm support staff. Yeah, whatever. This is not my thing. This is your thing.
Right.
Now you're on to the third year of doing this
Yes.
festival, right? Um, and not only, and I do have to say this, right? You're doing festivals in that park. Now, here in Hudson Valley and Newburgh, there are multiple festivals now starting to happen in this
Absolutely.
park, which, and I'm not saying you started the festivals. I'm sure they was
Mhm.
going on prior before. We just didn't know about them.
Right.
Now we know about
Right.
them. So for instance, we have your festival is August 31st. J Mart is having the
Yes.
R&B what is it?
Soul Picnic. I think
The
it's R&B
R&B
Soul
Soul
Picnic.
Picnic, which is a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
Vic and Bernadette now is having the Spanish Heritage Festival,
Hispanic Heritage Festival. Yep.
Hispanic Hispanic
Heritage.
Heritage
Heritage.
Festival.
Yeah.
They're having that, and I think that's September 7th.
Yes, that's the
If
following week
yes,
after,
the
right?
following week after. So
Right.
if so what I'm saying all that to say, if you are interested in throwing events in the People's Park in Newburgh, go to the town of Newburgh, not the town of Newburgh. Where's the building they have to
City
go
of
and get the
Newburgh.
paper? The
City of
city of
Newburgh Broadway.
Newburgh,
Yeah.
and
City
find out
Hall.
the information, get the information,
Yeah.
put an event together.
Yep.
Don't be afraid, push the start button.
Yep.
You definitely won't be having something there at the same time somebody else is, because only one person can use the park at a time, so
Absolutely.
you don't have
That
to worry
day.
about that part.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about the third annual Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival?
Absolutely. This year, I wanted to um, take the third annual to another level. And I partnered in with my brothers again, which is uh, Thaddeus Green, TJ, Charity Entertainment, Dan Alexander, I'm sorry, Nehemiah Production, uh, Butchie Farrell, which is Distinguished Entertainment, and James, which is JWC Production.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which these are my brothers, that we've done big, huge events in the past. So we wanted to go in another direction of making it even bigger. Um, so we added some national artists to the lineup. We have Chubb Rock. We have Ruffins.
Who is
Ladies,
Rough
what
Ends?
ladies, you don't want to miss them. Ruffins are an R&B
Mm-hmm.
soul love. I mean, they're gonna give you what you need. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you. We have Buff Dillard and friends, jazz. We also have Base Camp. I'm gonna say Hudson Valley's finest.
Mm-hmm.
We have Marquise Damon, which is R&B and soul, and he's coming out of DC. And again, ladies, gentlemen, you don't want to miss these guys. We also have a, a band that I am so uh, thrilled with, that's coming out of DC, DC Go-Go, which is West Mom. They give a hell of a show every time. And then one of my favorites from this area also, it's a band that I just happened to come across, the Tone Benders.
Mm-hmm.
When I say they give you blues and funk, I'm just gonna let you just go to Eventbrite, get your tickets. And I'm gonna tell you, the one and only Rob Love, DJ Rob Love. If you were there last year, you'll know, that you better be there this year. So, but we decided, to take it to another level because we want to bring quality entertainment to the Hudson Valley area as well as Newburgh, New York. The waterfront is beautiful. It's a prime spot where you can give wonderful entertainment and then bring your wineries, your vendors, your food trucks. You're bringing all that in and you mesh that in together and you have one hell of a festival.
Yes. And the waterfront, the location is beautiful. For
Yes.
the people who, because you said if you've been there last year, you know to come. Is a lot of people who still have not been.
Yes.
How
Yes.
do you convey the message to those people? to get them in the gate? How do you convey the message to those people to purchase a ticket? How do you get what other information, right? How much are the tickets? And this is
Yeah.
the one. This is the one. Okay, listen, and I'm not, I gotta say this, Hudson Valley, I've never heard this before till I got here. What do you get? Okay, for your ticket. I've never heard that before till I got here. What do
Yes.
you get? How much is the
Yeah.
ticket, and what's going on?
All right. What do you get? I just ran off the whole lineup. You're going to get everything that you need. Bring your kids, your family, everybody, friends. That weekend is going to be phenomenal. You can get the tickets at HV which is HV. I'm sorry. Let me back up. 2024 HV Wine and Music Festival at .eventbrite.com. Go there, get your tickets, or you can call me 240-893-9564.
Or the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival Instagram page, or
Yes,
the Facebook page.
Facebook page. And we also have a Facebook page, and we have an event page that you can go on there also, which is the third annual Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival. You go in there, tag your friends in it, everything. You're going to get everything you need. We also have buses coming from DC, the DMV coming up. Okay. So anybody, that want to come up that Friday night, we do have hotel accommodations at the Holiday Inn. The rooms are $240. It's overnight. If you come on the bus, you get a round trip ticket. Go to charityentertainment.com. Get on that bus, DC.
How much are the tickets to the festival?
The tickets right now are $35, and then they'll go up pretty soon. The $35 tickets they're going fast. So if you want to get these tickets, look, for $35, where can you get three national artists, 7 bands all together, and a DJ in one place for $35?
With a beautiful landscape. $35 tickets.
You can't beat it.
What other ticket options are there?
We have now when you come into the park, the only way you can bring food in is you got to have a cooler pass. You have which cooler pass is $25, and you can bring your own food and however it may be, whatever you coming up in there. You got to have that. We have tent spaces. We don't supply your tent, but we will guarantee you that you have a space for your tent, which is $40. Okay. We also have a tent space with a ticket. That's $60. So
the highest ticket is $60. The highest,
yes.
For one person is $60. Okay.
Absolutely.
The highest ticket is $60. You get 7 live entertaining bands, individuals, jazz, blues. Rob Love going to throw in the hip hop, go-go, all of those for $60 if you get a tent. If you choose not to get a tent and you sit out in the sun with the people, okay, because some people choose to do that, $35. If you do not purchase a ticket, how much is it? Will it be more at the gate?
Yes, it will.
Okay.
It definitely will be more at the gate. So you might want to go get them tickets right now.
Okay.
Because it's definitely going to be more at the gate.
And do not forget your lawn chair, because you need something to sit on.
And this is rain or shine.
Rain or shine. The last 2 years, the weather has been immaculate. Immaculate. And we know the weather will be immaculate again this year.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you have a brand, Esquire Production, right? You throw events. Is there anything else that we're missing out on about Esquire Production that you would like to share with our audience? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Or is there anything, what would you say? And I always ask my guests, right? If there was a younger person interested in getting into entertainment on any level of entertainment, what advice would you give that person?
Anything entertainment that you get into, do your research. You know, make sure you have all your ducks in a row before you just jump out of there. Because um, it might look easy, but it's not always easy. You're gonna have some growing pains when it comes to this, and it's not the growing pains don't go away. They don't go away, because I don't care how long you've been in the business. There could be a chance, that you might break even or you might take a loss. But if that um, and you stand by your brand and your brand, you keep striving forward, to that mark.
Okay. All right. So basically tell them don't stop. Just keep
Nah.
pushing. It's not going to be easy. In no business is going to be
Believe in
easy.
yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your brand. And if you put in the work, I used to tell bands that, especially young up and coming band, if you're not going to invest in yourself and put in the work, why should I? So that's
Mhm.
the same way, as a promoter. If you ain't going to invest in your brand of promoting, getting what you need, making your events better, why should somebody else come out and support you? Hey,
Yeah, that's good. That's good because no one is good. People treat your business the way you treat it,
absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
If you go ahead.
Yes, I mean, Esquire Productions, we're distinguished and we stand by that brand, our brand, we are distinguished and we're out, to make the public, our customers happy as much as we can.
Right. Well, thank you very much, sir. Is
You're more than
there
welcome.
is there any questions that our audience may have before we wrap this conversation up? I feel like I have 20,000 questions I want to ask you, but we don't have that much time.
Right.
And and the questions I feel like I want to ask, but I don't know the question that I actually want to ask you. But thank you. I do appreciate what you did share. But before we're not going anywhere yet, I just want to make sure if there is any questions or anything. Oh, what is this
Let
that
Abby
Abby
know that
say?
we have room, for the lemonade
For the
stand,
lemonade
so
thing.
yeah, so tell her, get in touch with me, and we'll
I
we'll
think that
send the
would be
link over.
awesome.
Yeah,
I think that would be
absolutely.
awesome for her daughter to have a
Absolutely.
lemonade stand. She would be the only one there with the lemonade stand. Oh, someone said, who is your friend with the great hair? Who is your
Hey,
friend with
look,
the great hair?
Vic Santiago, what's up, man? Vic Santiago, him and Bernadette Santiago, yeah, they're doing the Hispanic Heritage Festival. I got mad love for that brother, man. They stepped out on faith, with this, and
Mm,
they're doing a wonderful job. And I can't wait, to attend their festival, even though they're gonna be away for hours, But he already told me, gave me my love and my flowers, So,
hmm
but um, great job, man. We're coming together, man, with the Hispanic Heritage Festival. I still want to give a shout out up here also to J Mark. He's doing a great thing as well, bringing things, to the Hudson Valley area, along with my brothers that are coming up from DC, coming, to do their thing with me, up here.
Absolutely. In reference to Vic and Bernadette, Bernadette is a part of Brown Girls Do Network also. And when we say behind every brown girl, there's a man, like a brown man behind him, and that's Vic. They also, what I absolutely, and I have to say this, what I love is that they're going back to their roots. They're going to their culture,
Absolutely.
right? The
Absolutely.
Hispanic Heritage Festival. And
Hmm.
it's like you can't get any better than that when you really start to just dig in and you stick it in with your own culture. So that is really dope. I love that. Anything you would like, where can we follow you at on social media?
We have Esquire Production. I have a couple of pages up here in the Hudson Valley. I got Esquire Production, Party with Esquire Production on Facebook. On Instagram, you got the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival page. We have Esquire Production page as well. On Facebook also, we have the Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival page as well. The one thing that I do want to add to the Brown Girls Do Network, you said something earlier, that, every brown girl has a brown husband or man behind them. And that is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Continue, to, support, because I cannot, everywhere I go, I pushes Brown Girls Do Network and my wife. I do, I mean, I've heard BW Freelance Photographer, the Brown Girls Do Network. Look, continue to support your wives, your significant others, because you never know. Hey, that business can bring you millions.
Listen, with Brown Girls Do Network, I have to bring more of the husbands on here so people can see how, the network is just totally awesome. It's awesome. So if you want to be a part of Brown Girls Do Network, please get in contact with us, message us. Vic, definitely have to bring him on here. Bernadette, I don't know. I'll just wait for Bernadette to grace me with her presence, but it's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, all right, Mr. Williamson, Mr. Esquire Production, I'm going to put you in the green room and I will be right back.
All right.
Thank you very much for coming on here.
I'm
sorry.
Thank you for
I do need
me.
to say thank you for coming on here. Thank you for letting the people know about Esquire Production and your up and coming events. Don't you have an event coming up? Do you have an event?
It's coming up. Yes, it's one next week. We might have to push it back a little bit for the grand reopening. They running behind, so we're gonna do a readjustment of the event for next week.
Okay.
But stand by, it's coming.
But you know what? And I know we're saying we're wrapping up. However, this is a part of the business, right? When the hot new buzzword is pivot. But this is a part of the business. Sometimes you do have to adjust right or left to make sure you put out a great product. And that's what's happening right now.
It's funny you said that, real fast, because it was times, where we was having an event and then for some odd reason, that deal went through and we had, within a week's time, we had to find another venue and we made it happen. So it's all about adjusting, pivoting, doing your thing, but always, and I learned this from TJ, is that you always, have a plan B, C, D, so.
That's right.
That's it.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on here, and we will be right back, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much for tuning into the Brown Girls Do Network live series. I hope you have received something, even if it was just about, I need to have event insurance. Yes, you do have to have event insurance. If you would like to attend the third annual, Hudson Valley Wine and Music Festival, you guys can get tickets on Eventbrite. If you are interested in joining Brown Girls Do Network, please message us, DM us at Brown Girls Do Network either on Instagram or on Facebook. We are accepting members all the time and we are having a blast, a good time. If you are interested in coming on our live series podcast, please get in contact with me. We love making new friends around here. Thank you very much for joining us, and I want everyone to have a wonderful evening.